Yo there guys, it's Nick with Couch Potato Fights again. So this is my second video of the day. It's about John Fury, other people. I think I saw that G-Man's already commented on this. That guy's quick. Same with Canada's boxing channel and Joey's Stunner Boxing. So I thought I'd have time to wait, and I'm trying to get videos out before these guys do. They're quick. They're very quick, so I need to be quicker. And it's not like it's breaking news, right? It's just John Fury doing what John Fury does. So I spent 39 minutes of my Friday evening watching an interview with John Fury. First thing, do you know what? I don't have anything against him, really. What I know of him, how he comes across, sometimes he comes across and you're like, he actually seems like quite a respectable guy. And then he does something where you're like, he comes across as a huge bell end, pretty much. Like when he was headbutting people from Usyk's team and that, I don't think he got the reaction he wanted from that, and his stock dropped quite a bit. There's some stuff he says and you can tell, alright, he's old school, fair enough, but you just don't do some stuff. And he's done some of the stuff it went from entertaining, throwing tables, threatening to bum people, stuff like that, to just like doing some stuff and you're like, nah, because that's like the behaviour of like a thug. At my local, you know, it's not that impressive. If I saw it in town on a Saturday night, it's just not too impressive when you're doing it. The other stuff funny. No one gives a shit if you break a table. You know, throw as many tables as you want, threaten to bum as many people as you want, all that stuff. But yeah, some of the stuff he's done, so he's a polarising figure. So I'm like, not here nor there with John Fury. But he's interesting, let's be honest. Like a bad B movie, he's interesting. So he said he met Alex Ferguson recently, which is funny. Manchester United fans won't thank me for saying that he referred to Manchester United as the Mecca of boxing. He definitely isn't at the moment. No disrespect to any Man United fans. I think even Ruben Amorim would say it's not the Mecca of boxing at the moment. He went quite a while in the interview, been quite sort of placid, to be honest. And is he going to fight Joe Egan? I want to see him fight Joe Egan still, because even in this interview he talks about being old school and if someone disrespects you, offering them out. Joe Egan's offered him out quite a few times, which I guess you could see that as a sign of disrespect. So are you going to fight Joe Egan? If you want violence, I think Joe Egan would give it to you. I would 100% watch that. And do you know what the thing is, right? Joe Egan, I did some security work at a Misfits boxing event about a year ago, I think it was, at the First Direct Arena in Leeds. And Joe Egan came to the event with his missus. Do you know what? He seemed like such a nice guy. He was really polite. Hello, how are you? But he was big. And he looked scared. He looked like one of those people. Do you know when you know someone's tough? You just know. You just know. He was a really nice, polite guy. But I was glad I was working outside most of that night, because I thought if that dude kicks off, yeah, see you later, I'm running. He was a big dude, and he just looked. Some people, they give you the look. They're really nice, and you can see in their eyes they're tough as nails. They're tough as fucking nails. So I can see why you don't want to fight John Egan, to be fair. I think John Egan would handle him, I think. Sorry, John, but I think John Egan would handle you. Seems like a lovely bloke, though, but he's obviously hard as nails. So, yeah, he went over Roman's fight coming up. He went over Tommy's fight coming up, which I've skimmed over in another video, so we'll miss that off. Okay, so the main talking point that people focus on. And again, I'm not disagreeing because it's John Fury. I'm disagreeing because he's just wrong. He says that Tyson Fury was robbed in both the Usyk fights. You could say they were close fights. The Opta-stats, I'm sure the Opta-stats have said that it wasn't as close as people think, because Usyk just boxed better and outpunched Fury. In the first fight, he did, in round 9, I think it was, he did very nearly finish him. And in some other referees would have waved that off, I think. I don't think Fury was robbed. They've started mentioning a cut. They've started, the excuses have come out a bit. They started mentioning a cut. He says Fury was robbed. I disagree with that. I just don't think he was robbed at all. I think that's really disrespectful to Usyk. And I know I'm an Usyk fanboy, like a lot of us are, let's be honest. But I think it's really disrespectful to him. I think he won the fights. I didn't hear many grumbles. If anything, I heard a lot more people. And again, people like True Geordie saying that, yeah, Usyk won the fight. Some people even said he was quite dominant in the second fight. I disagree with that. I know he's his dad. Just be more gracious. Just say, yeah, you know what, he's lost the fights, but if he comes back, he's learned from that, blah, blah, blah. He wasn't robbed. That's just funny. That was funny. Like, he said about overtraining. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff's coming out now. And again, this stuff wouldn't have mattered if he'd have won the fight, would it? He wouldn't be going on about cuts or overtraining if he'd won the fight. It wouldn't even be a factor. He said, like, he used the expression, knackers washed. Someone's had the knackers washed. I don't know if he was on about himself, his personal hygiene, but I don't get that. Is that an expression, knackers washed? What does that mean? They're on about Tyson Fury's belt being stolen. It wasn't stolen. We can keep going over that, but it wasn't stolen, was it? He was beaten fair and square, and as someone as old school as John Fury, you think he'd respect that. He beat my son I can admit that. They may have a third fight in the future, you never know. I don't even want to see that, but they may do. He talks about Tyson Fury not being in the sport and the amount of money people are losing. Oh, he's the biggest cash cow and stuff like that, and his charisma. He can be charismatic, but I don't think he's a bit of a Carl Pilkington figure, isn't he? And that's not slight on Carl Pilkington. He's well loved, you know. He's funny, he's a great guy, but Tyson Fury's more Carl Pilkington than someone who's very charismatic. When they say the charisma thing, I don't get it sometimes. Have you seen some of the suits that he wears for press conferences? I don't know what the charisma thing. You know, very engaging, very interesting. It's funny at times, yeah, definitely. He's had some great moments. Very endearing. There were points where he went through his struggles, his mental health battles, where, yeah, you were like, wow, you've come from 28 stone, you've come down and you've now beat Deontay Wilder. But I don't know about charismatic. I don't know, I guess it depends how you look at it. He kept going on about him becoming muscled up and putting on loads of muscle. That may make a difference, I don't know. It may make a difference. It may give him more power. If he puts on too much, it might slow him down. He's in his late 30s now, so obviously his testosterone levels, there's a lot of factors there which may make it harder for him to put on muscle now. I don't know necessarily if putting on muscle is the answer, but you never know. He could go away for a few months, put on loads of muscle, come back and be fantastic. I don't know. It's not always putting on more muscle that will help, but maybe he had a point. I think he meant he should get rid of some of his non-functional weight, i.e. fat, which we all have. I've got a bit of non-functional weight down there. It's fine, but yeah, like fat, non-functional fat, whatever. He thinks Daniel Dubois will beat Alexander Usyk, so he touched on that. He kept saying, he said Daniel Dubois at one point, and Daniel Dubois, and Daniel Doombar, I think, at some point, which is a beer. It's quite a nice beer, if you've ever had it. But he thinks Dubois will win. Again, he did give, to be fair, he did give some respect to Usyk, but he thinks Dubois will win, and he thinks it wasn't a low blow. So again, I know we're going back to the low blow again. He thinks it wasn't a low blow, which he's going to say that, and needs to be fair, but that's his opinion. He was on about shitting blood at one point. I don't know, he was on about shitting blood at one point, which is weird. He went off on a tangent a bit, which I guess I am now. I thought I was shitting blood actually once, and I was quite worried, but then I remembered I had some red velvet cake previous day, so that may be why stuff was red, if you know what I mean. So yeah, next time you're worried about that, did you have any red velvet cake from Morrison's? It may be that. I'm not GP, but it could be a red velvet cake. Maybe the food dye. He says that to really flourish and be successful in boxing, you have to give up everything. And he name-checked some of the old school guys, like I think George Foreman and a couple of other boxers who gave up everything, the wife, the family, the kids. A lot of modern-day boxers, it does sound like they do training camps where they're away from the family a lot. He was basically reiterating that Tyson Fury needs to drop a lot of the stuff. Maybe like the Netflix documentaries and that, and then he'll flourish and just dedicate everything to it, which is probably really good advice. But again, with the aging where Tyson Fury's at now, would he want to do that? Would he want to, if you've retired like 28 times, are you in a position to really be like, fuck it, I'm going to come back and dedicate my whole life to it? Because he keeps retiring and unretiring. It's a bit boring now. To say that he's the main cash cow in boxing, I think he's wrong, because most people, when he retired, they were like, he's going to come back, but if he's retired, I'm fine with that. And most people within the past couple of weeks, when he said he is unretired, they've been like, I'm not that bothered, including me. Stay retired. The space that you could take up by coming back, money aside, someone like Ajit Cabel could take. Someone like Moses Atama could take. You've had your time. Again, like, you know, he wouldn't like to hear this. You've had your time. You've done amazingly well. No one can discount what you've done, but again, come back for Joshua or don't come back at all. So what else have we got? He took credit for Tyson Fury. He says that he would have stayed in the fight if he'd have followed my advice, because he was talking about Usyk being a southpaw and Fury moving the wrong way. And he said that Sugar Hill Stewart, and he did criticise him, to be fair. And I heard Malik Scott talking about it as well and his thoughts on it. He did say that like the corner weren't really doing the job, which is surprising, because Sugar Hill Stewart, I don't think he'll respond to that, because he sounds like quite a classy guy. He'll probably, you know, Teflon effect, he'll brush that off. But he's a very experienced boxing coach, so as is John, but I don't know, there's something there. But he said if Fury would have listened to him, he would have won the fight pretty much, or stayed in the fight. Which again is his opinion. It seems a bit weird. Again, like the funny, around this time he got to the point where he was like, oh, if anyone says anything to me, I'll offer them out and have a straightener on the street, which is the John Fury no one love in a weird way. No one started on him. He just said, you know, if someone disrespects me, he said the public can kiss my bell end, which I'm not mad on that, especially if he's been threatening or bumming KSI. I don't want any of that, like, do you know what I mean? Because KSI is quite polarising as well, isn't he? Again, never met him, but he seems like a bit of a tit as well. He'd done very well for himself though, so I respect that. Self-made man, respect that, but I don't want to kiss John Fury's bell end, no. I see what he was saying. Again, I don't give a fuck what people think. Genuinely, some people don't, but sometimes when people, what's the saying, they'll protest too much, it's sort of like you do, and if you didn't care what people think, you wouldn't do things to put yourself in people's line of sight. Do you know what though? I'm going to give him some kudos now for the rest of the video because he was actually very respectful. I'm going to head to 15 minutes and then I'm going to call it a day. He was really respectful to AJ actually. They asked him about AJ and you'd be forgiven for thinking he's going to slander AJ a bit. Yeah, very respectful. He said he didn't want to see AJ fight Tyson Fury now. So he's going to want money and stuff and now he's like, I don't want to see him fighting, which is weird. He was very respectful to Joshua and Joseph Parker though, to be fair. You know, there's something there. He did also name check Ajit Cabel, and more people are mentioning Ajit Cabel. He may have a fight lined up next. I don't think he does. He may be in talks for a fight, but can someone give this guy a big fight? Is he available for Usyk Dubois too? Can we get him in a co-main event against someone? Who could we put him against? Just give him a chance. Put him in the limelight. Ajit Cabel. He must be something like 25-0 or something. He's beaten Zhang. He beat Zhang after being hurt. He beat, I think it's Frank Sanchez, who was also tipped to be, you know, it's the next big thing. Very good technical boxer. But he name-checked Ajit Cabel and said he's the danger man of the division, which I agree with, which more people are agreeing with. Spencer Oliver said that. Simon Jordan said that recently. A lot of people are saying Ajit Cabel, so get him on a bill. But other than that, yeah, he was quite... Yeah, Eubank Jr., Nigel Benny really enjoyed that. He mentioned about the fathers, as I knew he would. He's obviously a family man. And he mentioned Colin Hart, boxing journalist, to being a big loss to boxing as well. So yeah, the stuff there, I'm not saying the guy's always a complete douchebag or anything. He's got some funny views, but then again, do you know what? It has us talking, doesn't it? So anyway, couch potato fights. I just thought I'd do a video on that because it's interesting. He's been away for a while, so we were all, some of us are craving a bit of John Fury, let's be honest. His sons both won at the event in the end, so he will have had a good time in Hungary. They've been out there a month, I think. But yeah, let us know your thoughts, your comments. Have I been too harsh? I think I've been reasonable. Just some stuff I have to strongly disagree with. Some stuff I have to give him props for showing respect to fellow professionals and athletes. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day. See Freddie in the background there over my right shoulder. Thank you for watching.